And welcome back. I am Terry Ann Porter, Life Coach TA. I've been telling you all about Toastmasters for the last several months and introducing you to many of my Toastmasters friends. Well, today I want to introduce you to another Toastmaster friend. I met this gentleman several years ago on a leadership planning retreat, and I tell you what, my respect and admiration of him has just continued to rise since that moment. Today we're going to talk about why Toastmasters, and my guest today is Darren Yarbrough. Darren, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited you're here.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
I know you've got some fun things to tell about Toastmasters. Let's start from the very beginning. How long have you been there?
I have been in Toastmasters since July of 2011. And I know exactly what day it was. It was July the 1st of 2011 because the Toastmasters year starts on the 1st of July. So I started off my year right. I guess I could say that was my New Year's resolution in Toastmasters years. Sort of like dog years, but Toastmasters years. But actually, the first time I heard about Toastmasters was several years before that. It was when I was serving in the Army, living in Germany. I actually heard a commercial about Toastmasters, and every time I hear the phrase Toastmasters International, I'm always reminded of that. The first time I ever heard about Toastmasters, I wasn't even living in the United States at the time.
Oh, I see. Well, then what? Okay, so you've heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then why did you go ahead and join?
Well, at the time that I first heard about it, I was really intrigued by it. But of course, I was in the military. I was an Army officer, incredibly busy, gone all the time. And I thought, I just don't have time for it now. But it stuck with me, and I put it on my bucket list. So when I got back to the States and everything got out of the service, got everything stabilized, something in the back of my mind said, hey, you remember that thing you wanted to try? And I went to a meeting, and the rest is history. It is just, I thought I was going to go just to visit, just to see what it's like, check it off my bucket list. Mm-hmm. And here I am, however many, 13 years later, and still going strong.
So why? What about it has kept you in here for 13 years?
Well, I've got to admit, I've always enjoyed some form of public speaking. When I was in the military, I got to conduct training a few times. In my house of worship, I got to lead a few of the devotionals and things. So I always enjoyed public speaking, but I just wasn't really sure how well I was doing it. So some people say that when you do something, you should try to improve your weaknesses. And if you have a weakness or you feel like you have a gap in public speaking, Toastmasters can certainly help you with that. It can certainly fill the gap. But another approach I would suggest is if you feel like you're fairly okay at something, but you want to try to be excellent, then Toastmasters can help you push to the next level of public speaking. And that's why I wanted to stay with it, is because I realized that it could help me become better and hone some of what I thought at least were some abilities that I had. And beyond that, one of the reasons that I'm still in it is I wanted a hobby that I would enjoy. I am a software engineer by day, and that means that I'm one of those geeks in a closet. They lock the door, let us type all day. Occasionally they'll slide a pizza under the door and let us keep on typing. So I spend a lot of my days just like this. But at Toastmasters meetings, it's my chance to stand on the stage and shine. I can stand in front of a group of people, crack jokes, tell my story. I can be the star of the show for just a little while and step out of my shell and be something different. So if you're looking for a chance to stand up and be a stand-up comic or a performer for a while, Toastmasters can help you with that too.
Oh, I like that. I hadn't thought of that angle, but I guess that is true. Let's see. Tell me something about what's something that's happened in a Toastmasters meeting that you just think is just really exciting and just really shows how powerful Toastmasters is.
One of the great things that you'll learn in Toastmasters is you'll learn the fundamentals, the foundations of public speaking, all the essential skills that you need to be able to speak clearly in an organized fashion to be able to influence people, you'll get the foundation. But the next great challenge you have is to find your own personal style. I could give a speech like somebody else, and it wouldn't quite sound right because it's not me. I have to find the style of speaking that is uniquely me. Then it will flow naturally and feel more authentic. I remember one particular meeting where I feel like I made a leap forward and found my style of public speaking. It was when I was giving a speech called The Power of a Push. And I've given this speech several times since then, but it was the very first time that I did it. And I could tell right away that something had clicked. Something had clicked with me, something that clicked with the audience. Everyone was engaged. They were leaning forward. Their eyes were on me. They laughed at the places where I was hoping they would laugh. And even when I collected those little slips of paper at the end that gave me all of the feedback, there was one person in the audience that I could tell that they were probably there against their will, like maybe a teacher or a boss had said, you need to go to this meeting. And they were sitting there not too enthused about it. They seemed a little cross about the whole thing. But when I read their slip of paper, I could tell they had started to write some negative comments, but then the last comment they wrote was, great speech. And they'd circled it about 10 times. And I thought, yes, if I persuaded the toughest person in the room, then I've made a leap forward and I've found my style. And I've discovered my style really revolves around storytelling. That seems to be my secret.
Yeah. I do like that in Toastmasters. You're not really given a specific assignment, although basically the educational package, does offer the same thing all the way through. But everybody could give the same speech and give it entirely different.
Indeed. I've seen that many times.
We're encouraged to.
Mm-hmm. Those first two levels in a path cover the foundations of public speaking. And so everyone has very much the same projects, but I can tell when each person does a project, it's just a little bit different. You can tell their style shining through, and it becomes more and more apparent as they move up into the 3, 4, and 5 levels of their path.
Absolutely. Speaking of path, do you want to explain that a little bit? What
Absolutely.
You're talking about?
The Toastmasters education program now is called Pathways. And currently we have 11 different paths that you can follow. And each one is uniquely designed to help you, the Toastmaster, improve and develop the skills that you want to improve and develop. It can be things like engaging humor or presentation mastery or dynamic leadership. They're different paths that work on different skills. And after you establish the foundation in your first 2 levels of that path, then the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th level really delve deep into the specifics of that skill that you want to develop and work on.
I like that. I like to call it kind of like independent study.
It is. It is very much so. And it's self-paced. People always ask, the new members especially, how many speeches do I have to give? How often do I have to speak? And I always tell them, it's self-paced. Find a pace that works for you and for how busy your life is and for how quickly you want to improve. The pace that I've set personally is I try to give 1 speech each month. Sometimes I give more, sometimes I give less. But if at the end of the year I can say I got at least 10 speeches done, then I feel like I'm on pace. But really, it's up to the individual to set their own pace.
Absolutely. And it's so fun to watch the growth as that pace develops. I know that in doing this Why Toastmasters thing, it was a project I chose to do as one of my path assignments. And I just continued it even beyond the assignments. I wanted to improve my speaking. I wanted to improve my online presence. So several years ago, I started doing things online. I really, really, really want to take off those first few I did. But they are reminders to me that there's a growth pattern. Somebody looks at me now and says, "Oh, but you're so well polished." I mean, I've gotten lots of compliments. I've gotten some feedback, to improve more, but I've gotten compliments. I said, yeah, go back and look at the first ones. It didn't start here. And that's the thing about Toastmasters. Grow at your
remember the
pace.
very first, they call it the icebreaker speech, the very first speech that you give. It was not exactly the most polished thing I've ever done, but I stood up and I got through it. It was supposed to last 5 to 7 minutes. And as I recall, somewhere around 4 minutes or so, I ran out of material. I didn't really have a conclusion, so I very politely thanked everyone, went back to my seat and sat down. Then came time for my evaluation. And giving me the evaluation for my speech was a very senior member of Toastmasters who had won speech contests at very high levels. And I thought, oh no, this is going to be brutal. I'm going to have to crawl out of the room when this is done. But as he started speaking, I realized that Toastmasters is an environment where you can get not only useful feedback, but kind feedback. The feedback that he gave me pointed out the things that I did well, the areas where I needed to improve, and gave me practical suggestions for how I could improve those things that needed improving. And in the end, when that evaluation was done, I was encouraged. I wanted to give my next speech. And I did. And I gave my next one, and my next one, and my next one. And I believe now I've given over 100 speeches in Toastmasters, and I'm still going.
Oh, wow. I haven't stopped to count mine. That's an interesting concept. I think the evaluations are really awesome. Like you, the first few times, oh my gosh, this is, they're going to be cruel to me and beat on me. But no, there's no beating up. It's encouraged. It's an encouraging environment to grow and to develop. And if you screw up, you screw up.
That's right.
It's okay.
I've heard people say that Toastmasters is the one place where you can completely flop and still receive thunderous applause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that just makes it so much more encouraging and exciting to think, okay, I can step up and go forward.
In fact, in some clubs, not in every club, but some clubs have the practice that when a person stands and gives that first speech, their icebreaker speech, when they finish and as they take their seat, everyone there gives them a standing ovation to applaud them for the courage to stand up and make a start.
Oh, what a great idea. I love that idea. If you had one final thing to say to people about why, wait a minute, no, I'm going to do something I'm not supposed to do. Toastmasters teaches me not to do this, but I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to backtrack because I just thought of what I forgot to ask. Leadership. Leadership is another angle of Toastmasters. How have you grown as a leader in Toastmasters?
One of the mottos of Toastmasters is where leaders are made. And there are really several facets for teaching leadership. When a person joins a meeting, they join a club and just attend the meeting, there are actually leadership roles that are around for just that meeting. At each and every meeting you attend, there's somebody who's the Toastmaster of the meeting. They're the master of ceremonies. They organize things. There's a person who's in charge of leading the evaluation team, the general evaluator. There's a person who leads the table topic sessions, which is impromptu speaking. So right away, when you join, you get an opportunity to lead the meeting, but it's not a long commitment. You do it for just that meeting, and then your time is done. As you move up and feel more comfortable, you'll be able to serve as a club officer, president, vice president of education, treasurer, secretary. Those kinds of roles last for 1 year, the Toastmasters year, July 1st through June 30th. So you serve on those roles, but then as you move up, you can serve in the district level leadership positions. You can be an area director, which is usually over 4 or 5 clubs. You could be a division director, which is over 3 areas. And then you can move up and become a district director. You can become a club growth director, the finance manager. You can do the roles at district level. And there are roles beyond those. We have a member that we see very often at the conferences who is now one of the international directors at Toastmasters International. So plenty of opportunities to practice, learn, and grow in leadership. And I will say that In all my experience of leadership, my time as an Army officer and my time at Toastmasters, I would have to say that leading in a volunteer organization is some of the best leadership experience you get, because the people are not under, they're not compelled to be there or follow. You have to really have an excellent plan and excellent people skills. And those, in my mind, are what make a truly excellent leader. And those are the skills that you'll learn in leadership in Toastmasters International.
So do I have to have all these skills to step into leadership?
Oh, absolutely not. You will gain them as you, if you have them, great. Be ready to show them, be ready to use them. But even if you don't, you will gradually start to acquire them through practice, through watching people. I sometimes say to people, that applies to leadership and speaking, that some of the greatest things I get from Toastmasters is not just the stuff that I'm doing, but it's the stuff I see, the things that I see other people do, the things I hear them say in speeches. Sometimes by just watching other people, you will acquire the skills that you need, and you'll be able to put them into practice and see how well they work for you. So it's a learning process. It's a learn as you go proposition.
So what kind of training is available?
Oh, plenty of training. In addition to your speaking training, which is pathways, you also have things in pathways that do work on leadership. There are some projects where you're supposed to organize a team to do a special project, and you will lead that team through the completion of it. It may be something that lasts 1 month, it may be something that lasts 3 months. So there are some pathways projects that do give you practice, they do give you some training on leadership. But for your other roles, like club officer training, you have a session that you attend in the summer, and then a session you attend in the winter. The summer session is really instructional. They give you all the things that you need to know, all the resources and where to find them. But then my favorite one is the one that they do in the winter. That's how, after everybody has served as a club officer for 6 months, and then they come in and tell their stories. They come in and tell, these are the things that worked well. These are the things that maybe didn't work quite as well as I thought. Here's some suggestion and ideas, and everybody compares their stories, and everybody walks away enriched by everyone else's experiences as well as their own. And then as you move up, there's different kinds of training. There's training for area directors, division directors, and I'm happy to say I was blessed to be elected club growth director in the district for this coming year. And I'll
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll be attending a 2-day training just before the convention begins in August. And that will be 2 days of training for the position that I'm going into. So training in Toastmasters, there's plenty of training and plenty of resources and plenty of people you can ask for help.
Wow, it sounds so exciting. I think I want to join Toastmasters.
Yes.
Wow, gosh, we've covered so many areas. Is there anything that I've left out that you really want to say?
I would have to say that in addition to what you experience in Toastmasters, and in addition to the chance to step away from your day job, Toastmasters can also help you with your day job. One of the favorite stories I like to tell is how, after I've been at Toastmasters for, I think, 8 years or so, one day my boss came to me and said, you know, I've been thinking of starting this monthly training session, 1 hour long, where we work on soft skills and technical skills, and we invite people over to talk, and it's going to be a learning experience that lasts for 1 hour each month. Could you organize that for me? I'm like, yes, I could. So right there, it gave me a chance to use so many things I learned in Toastmasters to help the department in a very unique way, because I'd gained those skills with Toastmasters. So plenty of opportunities to take the skills that you learn and use them in your day job.
Oh, that's wonderful. You use it in your day job. You can use it in your life, in your advancing in professional, build confidence. What more could we ask for?
In fact, I would say that in Toastmasters, you will find a safe place where you can grow as a person. Let me read the club mission. This is the mission of each and every club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So if you want to improve your public speaking skills, or you just want to gain more self-confidence so that if you are called on to stand up and speak, you feel like you can, Toastmasters is the perfect place for you. And I would also say that you will find as you participate in meetings that the fellow members will become a family or friends. I sometimes tell people I feel like I'm especially close to my members, even though I only see them a couple of hours each week. Mm-hmm. The reason I feel so close to them is that I've heard all their stories. I know about that funny childhood prank or their wedding day or the most fabulous vacation they've ever been on or their greatest hopes and dreams, because each time that we show up, somebody will stand up and give a speech about those things. And I feel like I'm so close to my fellow members because I've heard all of their stories. So if you come to Toastmasters, you will over time find that they will become a family of friends.
Oh, I like that. Yes, I do. As you were saying that, I started remembering some speeches and just some things about some people that I remember so well just from speeches they gave, and just a whole new look into their life. And something I think that is really vital to know, all of this training is not expensive.
That's right. It is very cost effective. And I sometimes give people this comparison when it comes to learning public speaking. I say, if you want to get training and you want to learn more about public speaking, you could go to a college class, which you'll attend for 4 months, and you might get a chance to give 4 speeches. Or for the same amount of money, you could be a member of Toastmasters for 4 years and have a chance to give 40 speeches. And all of your speeches will get evaluated not only by a person in the meeting who will give you a 2 to 3 minute evaluation, you'll get feedback from an entire room of people who are public speaking enthusiasts, who have done it perhaps for several years, and you get all of this feedback. Very often when we give speeches out in the wild, as some people say, out in public, we may get a little bit of feedback, like a handshake, pat on the back, hey, great job. But when you come to a Toastmasters meeting and you give a speech, you get real useful feedback that you can take to improve, and you also get the encouragement to try again and keep on going.
Wow, very powerful. Oh, Darren, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to speak with you and to share your Toastmasters insights with my friends. It's been a pleasure. So for you who are watching, please let us know. First of all, are you watching live or by replay? We'd sure like to hear. We'd like to hear your thoughts. We always look for feedback. We're Toastmasters. At the same time, if you'd like to check out my club, the reason I am doing this, club number 392, Tower Talkers Toastmasters, you can check us out online. Come visit us. And we are both part of District 22. Check out let me hit the right buttons here. Check out the District 22 website, and you'll find more information there. Darren, I'm going to allow you real quick. What club are you with, and where can they find you?
I am with 2 clubs currently. I am with A Taste of Success. It's a club that meets hybrid. Its home base is in Kansas City, but many people attend online. I'm also, my first club though is Springfield Toastmasters, and that's the club that I first joined in 2011. It meets twice a month on Monday nights. We're out there, Springfield Toastmasters. Just Google it and you'll be able to find it. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Sounds good. My club meets on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of each month. As you can see, Toastmasters meets all the time, everywhere. So thank you all very much for joining me, and I can't wait until I can share another one of my Toastmasters friends with you. Thank you for watching.